Welcome to your February edition of Mindful Eating. I'm Melissa. I am a dietitian with Student Nutrition Services and registered yoga teacher here to guide you through your mindful eating practice. If you would like to follow along with the journal, we have a link in our bio that you could look at the link in our bio and get a mindful eating journal, which looks a little like this. And then it comes with the mindful eating tips and tricks and the hunger scale. So we'll take a moment to just kind of ground into this space and kind of check in with our bodies. So let's take 5 deep breaths, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose, so we can just kind of balance. So stand up or sit up nice and tall, shoulders relaxed, jaw relaxed. We'll inhale to 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the nose, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale through the nose, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the nose, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale through the nose, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the nose, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more times. Inhale through the nose, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the nose, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last round. Inhale through the nose, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the nose, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release your breath. Take a moment to scan your body, kind of notice what's going on inside. Maybe just tap into what are you feeling right now in this moment? What are you feeling right now? Tired, stressed, excited, happy, the sun is shining. What are you feeling? All of the above, no answer is wrong. No answer is wrong. It's nice to check in with how we're feeling before we eat, because how we're feeling can often dictate the choices that we make, right? How much or how little we eat, right? Our mood can affect our appetite. So it's really nice to check in. And those are some of the, emotions or energy. All of this you can write down in your journal to help kind of uncover your eating patterns and what you're gravitating towards. So if you don't already have your meal or your snack, go ahead and grab it. I'm just going to take a moment to prepare mine. I've got some oatmeal. And let me just make a disclaimer. This isn't to say this is the right way to eat because I'm a dietitian. I'm sharing with you what I'm eating to share my experience with you. So this is not a right or a wrong or place of judgment. There's really no room for that in mindful eating, and we'll talk about that in a moment. So as you get your food, I'll share what I'm eating. My oatmeal, which is still quite hot. I've got my yerba mate tea. I've got a couple of mandarins, and then I'm just gonna start prepping my food here. And so as I prep and as you get your food ready, let's just take a moment to just talk about what mindfulness is. And mindfulness is paying attention, moment to moment awareness, paying attention on purpose, without judgment, and with compassion. So as I fix my food, right, this can be a mindful activity too. Paying attention to what I'm doing, right, how I'm preparing. I have a tub of butter here. It could be very easy to judge, right? That's too much, that's too little, that's whatever. Just let it go. Let it go. right? The mindful eating time is not a time for judgment. It is a time to just tap into what's going on. So we pay attention, moment to moment awareness, without judgment and with compassion. So if we end up saying something like, why are you eating that? Or you should be full, or any of those kind of critical voices, let it go. Think about how you would talk to, a loved one or your best friend. We don't want to be hard on ourselves because that could hinder our relationship with food. I've got some honey here. I'm going to mix that in. So as you kind of prep your food, think about, are you judging it? And if you are, can you bring in some compassion? Got some seeds and some nuts for a little crunch factor. And so one of the things we want to do with mindful eating is engage all of our senses, right? So we look at our food and we notice the colors, we notice the textures, the way that it looks. So again, I'm just sharing with you, this is not a place for judgment, but just a place for curiosity and awareness. So I'm looking at my bowl of oatmeal. It looks like different shades of brown, which is okay. Different textures. And then it smells. So notice what your food smells like. Mine smells very sweet. I put some honey in here, so I'm like getting like a honey aroma in here, which it smells really, really amazing. Notice what your food smells like, and even notice, like, as you stir, what does it sound like, right? Engaging those senses. What does it sound like? We'll also listen to what it sounds like when we chew, which is why I really enjoy having something crunchy. Me personally, I love having that crunch because it's so satisfying hearing the chew. Go ahead and get your first bite ready. Hold it up to your lips and just notice what's happening here. Notice, is your body getting ready for digestion? Is your mouth watering? Is your taste buds kind of waking up even before you put the food in your mouth, right? Our bodies are kind of, when we smell, it actually stimulates our vagus nerve, which stimulates that rest and digest, that stimulates our body and says, hey, it's time to eat. Let's get ready. When you're ready, go ahead and take your first bite and chew really nice and slowly. Notice the flavors. Notice the textures. And see if you could follow that bite all the way down to your stomach. See if there's a warming or a cooling in your throat, in your esophagus. Imagine the food going all the way down into your tummy for nourishment. And then when you're ready, repeat the process, right? So smelling, seeing, tasting, chewing. And with the mindful eating, let's see if we can chew slowly to really kind of savor all those morsels and to really tap into the experience. And maybe not every experience is pleasant, and that's okay. Just notice that. Notice that, right? Without judgment. Just be like, I'm actually not enjoying this broccoli. That's okay. That's okay. Right? You don't have, it's a place for non-judgment. It is a place to just tap into what's going on. And the more that we can tap in, the more that you get in touch with that internal wisdom inside of you. As mindful eating, we are trying to step away from the external cues, right? We're trying to step away from my plate is empty, so I must be full, or this is what this person's portion is, so that must be what my portion size should be, right? We want to get rid of those external cues and we want to tap into the internal cues, right? Your internal wisdom. And that is your hunger, right? What are you feeling? What sensations are you feeling? What are you craving? And your fullness and your satiety, like, are you satisfied after you eat? Are you full after you eat? What are you feeling? And sometimes the more that we do this, we start realizing that what we're craving might be food and it might not, right? And a lot of people have concerns with stress eating, and it's that pause and that tapping into that internal wisdom, right? Through the process of mindfulness and mindful eating, that we go, hey, you know what? I'm craving something right now, but right now it's not food, it's comfort. So what can I do to comfort myself? And sometimes that is food. You're just like, I just want this chocolate. That's okay. But sometimes it's maybe hanging out with a friend or a family member. So continuing to come back to the practice and tapping into your internal wisdom is going to help you through this process. So we'll just continue to eat mindfully. Taking as many chews and maybe challenging yourself to take one more chew. And notice if you're getting uncomfortable. Ask yourself why. Why? And maybe that's something to note down in your journal, right? The different emotions, the pleasant and unpleasant, or maybe just neutral feelings. Mindful eating is a process that changes over time because we change over time. So it's not always going to be perfect, and that's okay. But can we come back to it? Can we tap into that awareness without judgment and with self-compassion, right? Other things to note on your journal is your energy level. Sometimes we utilize food as a little energy boost because we do get energy from our food. Sometimes if we're not eating enough during the day, we get kind of tired and sluggish. Sometimes our energy level kind of affects our food choices. So noting our energy level, noting our sleep, how much sleep that we've had. Those are things that can definitely affect kind of what's going on, and that can affect our hunger and fullness cues as well as hydration. So we want to make sure that we're fully hydrated so that we can know, so that we could be not mistake thirst and hunger, so that we can fully understand kind of what's going on in our bodies. So I'm just going to read you a couple of quotes about mindful eating. Mindful eating refers to an individual maintaining a non-judgmental awareness of physical and emotional sensations while eating or in a food-related environment. So even if you're not eating, if you're at a restaurant, if you're at a family gathering, if you're at a holiday, what are those physical and emotional sensations that come up? And can we pay attention to them without judgment and with compassion? Allowing yourself to become aware of the positive and nurturing opportunities available through food selection and preparation by respecting our internal wisdom. So mindful eating is allowing ourselves to utilize our internal wisdom to select certain foods, right? So not using those external cues of I should do this or I should not do this because of what I've seen on somebody else's plate. Tapping into the internal wisdom of what we need. And it takes time. That's why we call it a practice, because we have to continuously come back to the practice. Mindful eating uses all your sensations to eat food that is satisfying to you and nourishes your body. So we're eating food for satiety. We're eating food for pleasure. We're eating food for nourishment, right? There's many, many reasons why we eat food, and it doesn't have to be just one thing, and we eat foods at different times. And it's all welcome. It's all welcome in mindful eating. Mindful eating is also becoming aware of those physical hunger and satiety cues that helps guide us our decisions from the beginning of when we eat and end of when we eat. Which is why we have the hunger scale, right? 1 being the most hungry I've ever been, 10 being the most full I've ever been, and 5 being at a neutral. So most of the times we want to tap in to what's going on, right? We want to tap into where we're at on the scale before we eat, and then sometime during our meal, tap into it again and say, all right, am I still hungry? Am I full? Am I kind of neutral? Is it difficult for me to notice? So utilizing the scale can help us tap into our internal wisdom, right? And utilizing those internal cues and recognizing those internal cues, because hunger presents in everyone differently. Some people feel a grumbling in their stomach. Some people just get hangry, right? They don't feel a grumbling in their stomach. Their mood just shifts or their energy drops. So maybe a challenge for this week could be thinking about where you're at just throughout the day in your hunger and fullness, and then noticing that with non-judgment and not saying, oh my gosh, why am I hungry? I just ate breakfast. Your body's telling you something. So can we tap into that without judgment and with compassion? Like, I'm still hungry even though I ate an hour ago. What can we do? We can have a snack, right? Compassion, we can nourish our bodies. So maybe that might be something to do this week, to think about, where you're at throughout the day. And that will give you some more information as to as to what your hunger is and what's going on inside your body, right? Your emotional and your physical body. I'm going to switch over to my orange now. I think awareness is kind of fundamental for our own personal self-regulation, right? Again, relying on our internal cues as opposed to external cues, and letting that guide us to what we eat, how we eat, when we eat, how much or how little to eat. So tapping into the internal wisdom, and it all starts with that mindfulness, right? Paying attention, moment to moment awareness with non-judgment and with compassion. So we'll just take a few minutes to just kind of eat. Tapping into the mindfulness, right? Non-judgment and with compassion. Noticing the sensations and the flavors, the sounds. Trying to do some extra chews. And if you feel like uncomfortable, it's okay. Noticing the physical sensations, emotional sensations that are coming up. And allowing them to be there. All right, friends. We are just about at the end of our time together. Let's just ground down again by taking 5 more rounds of breath. Inhaling to the count of 4 through the nose. Exhaling to the count of 4 through the nose. So shoulders down and back, chin parallel to the ground, feet flat on the floor if you're sitting in a chair. And then feel free to soften your gaze or close your eyes. We'll take 5 breaths together as a collected community. Inhale through the nose, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the nose, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, inhale through the nose, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the nose, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale through the nose, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the nose, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale through the nose, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the nose, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last round, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the nose, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let your breath fall at its natural pace. And I just realized I forgot to put in the pin attendance, so I'll do that right now, and I'll do that in the replay. Nope, I will have to do it in the replay because I don't have it on my clipboard. So I will do that in the replay that I will post right now. Feel free to continue eating. Feel free to continue to practicing the exercise of tapping into the present moment, physical and emotional sensations without judgment and with compassion. And we'll see you next Monday, friends. Thank you.